Alright guys, we're back. Same location, new episode. Spinny, Vincenzo Vision. Special guest today is NyckyGhost. Introduce yourself, man.
The number one DJ in Ottawa.
Stop, bro. Just introduce me, bro.
Nah, you gotta introduce yourself. That's the whole point.
What's good? I go by NyckyGhost. 2 Y's, no I's. Yeah, bro.
House always wins.
House always
wins.
fucking
This guy-
wins, man.
This guy, he's shy on camera, I feel like.
Nah, man. You introduced me, bro.
You know, fair. But that wasn't much of an introduction. But no,
Nah,
okay.
it was perfect, bro.
Okay, we'll get
You're
right
doing
into it.
amazing. Doing amazing.
So, you have like a little music collective or a brand we got going on, Playhouse. Give us a little description of that, or give the people.
Playhouse was an idea that I had and I wanted to execute, but I knew I couldn't do it by myself, so I tapped Myzy. Myzy came up with a bunch of concepts. We kind of went back and forth, and then we added Knife Circus to the mix. 11 was part of it. Big
Double Knife
Circus.
Circus.
Big Knife Circus.
Come on.
We've had a rotating team, but like the consistent members have been me, Myzy, and Knife. And from there, we just built a year's worth of events, and hopefully more to come. Yeah.
They were crazy from when I was there, man. It was insane. Halloween.
Yeah. The Halloween one was nuts. That was our first Halloween at Hide and Seek, and Hide and Seek's been treating us amazing since we've been there. I love Hide and Seek. Shout out T-Dot. Shout out Ramsey. Shout out Ben. They always treat me right. And yeah, like I just want to do more for the city, more than just club events. Would love to do festivals. I would love to do food drives for the community. I would love to do basketball tournaments. Anything, honestly, community building is something I'm interested in.
Fire. Awesome. Yo, man, Boiler Room, you think it would ever come to Ottawa?
Yeah, I think we can make it happen.
How does that, like, I don't know how that works, because Montreal had one, Toronto had one, but we have never
Just
had
got to
one.
make enough noise. I mean, I think we're on the right track, but it's just about us putting in work. It's not going to happen by itself.
That's fair.
They're not going to decide to go to Ottawa. They don't just decide to go to places. You know, you got to make them want to go, and I feel like we have a good core of DJs to make it happen.
I think so too.
And they won't need to bring anybody out of town because we got a phenomenal DJs from the city. So
Right?
yeah.
All right, interesting.
Now, I know you as, like, moved to the city 3 years ago. I'd say probably just all over the place, always seen NyckyGhost. Like, from time, probably one of the first DJs that I knew about. That was about 3 years ago. What was going on before that? What kind of got you into that position? Because I feel like you are one of the more, let's say, just respected DJs that is, like, you know, NyckyGhost is always a good go-to DJ, respected. No, I've never heard anyone talk
Appreciate
bad
that.
about you.
Thank
But
you.
what kind of got you into that position? Because 3 years, you've done a lot within that 3 years, but what kind of brought you to this point? Let's say 5-10 years. Like, what got you to the NyckyGhost today,
I
essentially?
mean, I've always been interested in DJing. Like, only a few people would know this, but people from the South would call me DJ Nick, and that was like a running joke because like I wasn't a DJ, but I always like was super big on music. Like when I was in high school, I used to download mixtapes for my friends onto their phones because like it wasn't like before like today with like Spotify and Apple where you would actually have to have the MP3 files. So I would download all the mixtapes from DatPiff or from live mixtapes.
Is that like LimeWire days?
No, it's a little bit after. I'm not that old.
Okay. No, I'm genuinely curious.
It's a little bit after that, but it's like it was iPhone 5 days, iPhone 4 days, but like not everyone had the iPhone at the time. People had like sidekicks and like other Androids, and you can't download music like that. So people were listening to music on YouTube. Okay. So I would download music for money on their phones. 2017, 2018, me and one of my boys, Sika.
Shout out Sika.
Yeah, shout out Sika for real.
Cool.
We met up with a couple of friends that were already in the scene, kind of Chanks and all them, and we're part of a collective called 48, and we would do events around the city. So like I was behind the scenes at first, so we were always doing events, and then what really got me to decide I want to DJ is when me, Filet, and Simon, so 48 and FMG kind of collabed, and we did Locks. And
now, what year was this where that transition
2019,
happened? 2019, okay.
yeah. So
damn.
2019.
6 years ago.
And I was, mind you, I was doing all this shit in my room. Like I wasn't doing anything crazy. I like wasn't outside DJing. No one knew I was spinning. Like I was making mixes in my room. And the only people that knew were probably like my boys that I live with and 11 and the other guys I game with because we would be on playing 2K and I'd be making mixes.
Yeah.
So when COVID happened, I was like, yo, I got to do something because there's nothing going on, and if I come out of COVID, no one knew how long this shit was gonna last. But I'm like, if I come out of COVID with no skill, then I'm literally wasting my time, you know. So I just started making mixes. I put out my first mix at like a random day at 4 a.m, and I woke up and I had like 400 plays, and I was like, oh shit, like, and that mix is ass. But at the time it was good, so I just started putting out mixes, which then helped me get back into like production, because I like, that was like my first love, was like producing music. So I started doing production again. So Jay wanted to hop on some of my beats, so I sent it to Jay, and then music out of that came out. But with the DJing, when shit opened back up, a lot of people had heard my mixes, but I had never spun at the clubs yet, right? So we were supposed to do another Locks event. What happened was it got shut down because of like mask mandates and whatnot. COVID, like, second wave hit, and then we got shut down again. So I had to wait until like vaccines came out, and then I did events at a Saw Gallery. I did events at a basketball tournament that Locks threw, and then I started spinning in the market. So I, like every DJ starts, you start at Room. You know,
that was my question, is where was your first ever actual...
You start at Room, bro. Like, I love Room. I'll always have love for Room. And like, obviously, we're filming this episode tomorrow. Is the 7-year anniversary of Room. You know, just being a part of it, because Room gets a lot of flack and like a lot of hate, but a Room, there's so many DJs that would not have their opportunity or would not be where they are now without Room. Like,
myself,
Room gives a lot of opportunities to young DJs. And shout out to Maya. Maya was a big part of like getting me into certain clubs that I probably wasn't supposed to be in at where I was DJing, and she helped me out a lot. You know, a lot of promoters believed in me. Shout out Knox. A lot of DJs believed in me. Polo Vibes, you know, they helped put me on, and I've just taken it from there, you know.
Why is that Room 104? Because I didn't really know about that. That room was like a starting point.
Oh, for sure.
So I think
in the market, for sure.
What happened was, it was like a Pink Wednesday, and T-Dot was supposed to spin, and T-Dot couldn't spin. So Maya asked him if I could spin. So obviously I said yes, and then I went, and T-Dot actually showed up, and they said I killed it. So I just kept getting booked. Then I was getting booked at the Hudson, and then from the Hudson it was Hide and Seek. Then Hide and Seek it was Tomo. Then like last year, every single weekend I'm booked everywhere, you know. And like, even with Playhouse, like Playhouse happened, not a lot of clubs wanted to give me an opportunity to do events because I'm just the DJ, the contracted DJ. But Jatem gave me an opportunity, took it to Tomo, took it to Hide and Seek, and like I found a home at Hide and Seek, you know. But yeah, like, I think the biggest thing with DJing in this city, and it's like giving the love to Room, is honestly understanding who came before you. So like, even like pioneers like Mez and like T-Dot and like Fusion, or even DJs like I haven't even worked with, so like, but like I know of them. So like Mace and all of them, they really paved the way for people like me to get booked 52 weeks a year. You know what I mean? Like, as much as I want to get booked, I wouldn't have those opportunities if it wasn't for them. You know, so it's pretty great, honestly. Like, it's really humbling when I think about it, and it's something that I hold dear, because I wouldn't be here without those moments, you know?
So, with Room, I know you talked about Room being a significant part of for yourself. Is that just like a special spot that, like, credit to Doomy, or who's really responsible, like, for those starting
Doomy,
people?
I don't know if Doomy was the head guy when it was his time.
Doomy was there, but he was at Hudson at the time when I was there. So for me, it was Knox and Maya, because Maya was handling management there, and
same deal though, same vibe.
Yeah, it was, and then when Maya left, it was Nina. So Nina was booking.
That's right. Yeah, Nina's still manager there.
Yeah, and then when Hudson closed, Doomy came back to 104.
Okay,
and then Doomy wasn't booking me a lot. Doomy didn't like me at the time. I think he didn't know. Not that he didn't like me. Not that he didn't like me as a person, but I don't think he liked the style of DJing that I was doing at the time.
He's critical about that for sure.
Bro, like I'm not someone who shies away from criticism. If someone tells me they don't like what I'm doing and how I could get better, I'm always gonna take it. But yeah, like when there was times where I wasn't getting booked, and I had to like take that to the chin, you know, and be like, yo, I gotta actually get better, and prove to them, or prove to myself, you know.
And look where you are now, man.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I personally don't think I'm anywhere yet, because there's so much more that I want to do.
Okay, yeah, good mentality.
But I have learned, and it's something I actively work on, is appreciating every milestone. But honestly, like, if I want to do this in 10, 15 years, there's a lot of things I got to do. And a lot of things I got to tighten up, you know?
For sure.
But yeah.
Do you think that so you said you started like actually DJing in the clubs, what, 3 years ago?
As soon as COVID finished, yeah.
So in 2022?
Yeah, like, the first time I was consistently getting booked was 2023, yeah.
Okay. From then until now, can you give the people 3 things that have changed in the nightlife industry?
There's definitely
whether it's better or worse. You could say
there's definitely everywhere wants to play hip hop now, which is weird, because even before I was a DJ, just going out, there's like 2 spots that you could go, 2 or 3 spots, but not everywhere is hip hop. There's Elgin spots on Elgin that want to just play hip hop. You know what I mean? Which I'm not mad about, but I personally just think there's not enough people that like the same things for that many spots to be running at once. You know what I mean? And that's what, like, when the shit's oversaturated, that's why people say Ottawa's dead and Ottawa's boring, is because there's just not enough people to like the same thing. Which is fine, but I just feel like there's different variety of clubs that can open. I remember where, I forget what it is, but it's a pot store on Clarence, right on the corner.
Honey Pot?
Yeah, that used to be a Latin club.
No way.
They used to be. They just played
beside Tomo Juice.
They just played Latin music and reggaeton music, and it was bumping. Like, if you wanted
we don't even have one of those, I would say.
Yeah, but that was a spot, and it was open every Friday, every Saturday, Latin night. You know, there are a lot, like, the club scene it shifts too much. The clubs change too much, and like, I think the second thing would be just oversaturation of clubs wanting to do the same thing. You know?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you feel it's like that because they're like, oh, that's hot right now, and they kind of jump on board with it, and then they were like, oh shit, we kind of jumped on too late? Do you think that's the issue, or it's just like
100%? I think just the nightlife culture here just goes through. It's like a roller coaster. It goes up and down, but it's not like other city where it's on a steady trajectory. It just, there's too many ups and downs for certain clubs to survive.
Yeah. Opinion. Okay. Yeah, that's fair.
And then you came with Playhouse. What was your because you've been doing a lot now that I know properly DJing actually outside in the past 3 years, but developing Playhouse, because that's a big thing, is to like go from kind of nothing to like going to one of the bigger clubs in the city and then saying, hey, I want to come up with this concept. You did other places, but you found your home at hide and seek. For someone that's trying to develop something, kind of get more of the entrepreneur side, what does that look like from start to finish? If you want to kind of go over like the major parts, from let's get actually contract whipped up, let's get marketing, like what's that?
You have to have a foundation. You have to have the first is the want, right? You demand or whatever. I started this brand because I wanted to do something that I would dream of doing. You know what I mean? So somewhere, a safe space for where I want to spend. So whether it's the sound of the DJs or how the aesthetic of how it's being booked to the posters, like every little detail of Playhouse matters to me.
Yeah.
If that's not the case for someone that wants to start a brand, and it's never going to succeed. Everything has to matter to you, but you can't do it alone. So you have to understand, you have to build a team of people that you could trust. First and foremost, because trust is very important, but also that you could lean on, because it gets very tough. There's times where your event, you're only going to get 50 people, but there's times where you're going to get 350 people. You know what I mean? So like, it's running a company and running an event is very humbling, but definitely understanding that nothing that you do is innovative and unique. That's the first thing that you got to accept, and it needs to be humbling. But how can you put a twist on something that other people are doing? Because events is nothing new. There's nothing that I'm doing that hasn't been happening already in Ottawa or in Toronto or in Montreal. It's just how I'm doing it. I'm putting my twist on it, and the most unique part of my event is that I'm doing it, because we're all different, and I'm just trying to be the best version of myself. So I do an event, it's going to be unique because I'm bringing my own sauce to it. You know what I mean? But it's still not an original idea. Like, some people come to Playhouse and don't even know what the fuck Playhouse is. But yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? But I acknowledge that and I accept that, instead of being like, oh, people are all coming to my event because of me, blah, blah, blah. You know, it's not the right fucking mentality to have. But yeah.
From a start to finish, like, what is, if someone's watching this, they're like, damn, like, I want to kind of throw an event one day, what would be like the starting point of what that would kind of look like? Of like, okay, I want to throw an event. Where do you even start? Because myself, over the past, especially the past 6 months, I'm like, okay, one day I'll be like, some people say, why don't you throw an event? I'm like, because I want to have a clue of what I'm doing. Like, how did you even gain any knowledge? Did you just kind of ask around? Because I know Filet, he's very knowledgeable in doing stuff like that. Where did you kind of be like, hey, where do I start? Like, say
everyone starts from a different place. I feel like some people start from what's missing in the melting pot, so what's missing in what's going on in the city. So, like from my perspective, when Amma shows was started, that was what was missing in the city. So it picked up, and now it's an extremely big niche in the city.
How long has that been a thing for?
2 years now.
2 years.
Yeah, they're on year 3 right now.
Damn, yeah, okay. I wasn't even.
But for me, it starts with just simply the name that reflects my idea. So like ChatGPT or fucking just
Big
looking,
days.
or Pinterest, just looking at events or looking at flyers. So for me, it's the name, and then after that, it's just the aesthetic or theme. So I try to think of songs that I would want to play at that event. In terms of matching the aesthetic of a song. I don't know if other people do that, but like the aesthetic of a song to what the event will look like. So at the time, it was super big on Sexy Drill. So when Playhouse came out, I was like, yo, why don't I make it like a Sexy Drill themed event, but that's not just Sexy Drill, but like the aesthetic of it, the feeling, you know what I mean? Like fly guys, beautiful women, just want to enjoy themselves, like being young.
Yeah.
Just that aesthetic, you know? So honestly, it's with everybody it's different, but it all starts with like actually like doing your idea, you know what I mean? So one of my friends, Gio, shout out Gio, he's super fucking big on actually putting your ideas to work, because everyone can fucking think. I can think of a million ideas that can be great, you know what I mean? But if I'm not doing them, someone else is gonna do them, by the way.
Yep.
And if I'm not doing them, then I'm just sitting there giving ideas away or hoarding ideas. What's the fucking point?
Now, how does that work in a sense of, okay, I need to pitch this now? So pitching Playhouse to, like, walk into a place, be like, hey, I have this idea, or is it one of those things where, like, here's a full outline of what I'm wanting to do within here's a contract of how I want things to work. Like, how's that pitching process? Because I feel like it's just such a big
it's different
business side, because you are at the end of the day a businessman, and I feel like
it is a business.
That is something
100%.
I find interesting, is that you are running a business, which is Playhouse.
Honestly,
how do you sell Playhouse to
it takes someone
market?
taking a chance on you. So with Jatem, I know I was doing a few events there a month, and I was killing it. People were coming, people were enjoying the music, so I was like, yo, why don't you guys just let me do a night? I'll handle door. I'll handle paying the DJs. You guys just pay me door and pay me tickets. Then it turned into, hey, can I get door, tickets, and percentage of bottle based off the amount of people that were coming, you know? And when you get to places like Hide and Seek, where so many people go there for events, very well known for events, you kind of have to come with numbers, and I'm very numbers oriented. So you got to come, yo, I can bring this many people in. This is what I sell my tickets at, so this is what my my overhead is, or my net profit is when I do my events. This is how much I pay DJs. This is how many DJs I book. This is what our alcohol sales look like when we come. This is how many booths we usually sell out. Like all that shit is like very, very important when you're trying to pitch upwards. But when you're at the bottom, it just takes someone to take a chance on you. Honestly,
it's that first time, right?
Yeah, honestly, it's super hard getting someone to trust in you the first time. And you're not always going to start at the place that you want to be at. But you know that's just how it goes.
That's how it be, man. Do you think so? You said that like Hide and Seek, you've been doing what, the past maybe 3 have been a Hide and Seek?
Sorry?
The past 3 you'd say have been a Hide and Seek, or 2?
5 at Hide and Seek.
Okay, so a minute. So
yeah,
out of the 3 places you've done them at, would you say that even though maybe the people are the same, that there's a difference in the crowd at any of the 3?
I mean, atmosphere is very important, and I think the layout of Hide and Seek is more, how do you say it? It's more intimate, where you can get people in behind you in the booth, and you can get people in front of you.
Yeah, you can fit a lot of people behind the DJ.
Oh, you can probably put like 50.
It's just crazy.
But it's about, that's the intimidating part of Hide and Seek, because like, that's
some
probably,
people like it, some don't. Right?
When it comes to hip hop, that's probably the biggest capacity club you could book.
Probably, yeah.
right? Because if you're talking clubs in general, there's Sky Zone or Sky Lounge. There, bro.
Skies, I haven't been there in a minute.
Bro, there's Sky Lounge, there's the show, and they probably have the two biggest capacities in the whole city when it comes to just clubs.
People in general, yeah.
Then there's Palace. I'm not too sure what the capacity is, but I know it's 2 floors, so it has to be quite a lot. But H&S definitely, like, when you go from doing events at clubs that are like 150 people and then you go to hide and seek and it's like 400 people,
it's a big change.
You got to fill that bitch up.
Yeah.
But when you fill that bitch up, the atmosphere there is unfucking matched.
And that's a big thing with hide and seek is when it's not busy, or it can be relatively busy, but it's such a big space. People are like, oh no.
You can have 100 people in there.
You take all those people to room 104, and they'll say, damn, like we don't have enough.
I mean,
place.
There's 10 people in room and like it's fucking packed to the brim. Like there's a line up outside the door.
That's the thing. The capacity difference.
No shade. I love room, but it's
genuinely
small.
like speaking from a guy that DJs there every 2 weeks. I'd say you can maybe fit at most. I could be wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong. Do me 130. I could be wrong. And that
sounds about it. But 130, it's hard to get from the front to the back. Like
if you got to go to the washroom,
you can't cook. And it's so the venue. Like I'd say one thing. I'm gonna add this. Like one big thing in Ottawa is like every venue is quite vastly different in size. I would say.
Yeah.
Like you have, let's say the big one on Thursday, City at Night.
Oh, I love City.
By the way, shout out Concept Thursdays.
Shout out Chef.
Shout out Chef. We talked about it in the last podcast. City's like 2 something. Then you have Rabbit Hole 2 something. Most of the places on Elgin, I don't know, Nicky, what would you say? Pump and Happy Fish.
I've never been to Happy Fish, but
I'm gonna guess 2.
Happy Fish in my head is a white room.
It is.
It's a white room.
Very much so.
But
very much so.
Pump, I would say it's like 2 something. Pump is like a fucking. It's a maze, bro. It's like a tunnel.
It literally is. The problem, or not problem, sorry. The difference with the clubs and that is that in a club you can easily fit like maybe 100, 125 more people. And if you get that, it just makes the night seem like it was better, more fun. The crowd was more receptive, whatever you want to say.
More like a movie, but...
More movie. It's not like it's a cringy word to say, but it's true. And a packed night, like, obviously anybody can take their phone. By the way, I'm going to put you on a hack. You can take your phone out, 0.5 camera. You can make any room look nice without flash. When the room is really packed and everybody's singing along, you can only get in 4 venues in Ottawa. Maybe. Not even.
Let me ask you a question, Spinny.
What's up?
When you're not DJing and you're at the clubs, how different is it than before you were DJing?
Definitely, definitely a lot different for sure.
Yeah, it's weird. Like when I go, because my boys don't like the market, so when my boys go out, they go to like Lieutenant's Pump or Rabbit Hole, right?
We talk about this all the time. It's so funny.
But when I'm not spinning and I'm out with them, like I just end up people watching because I'm this is so fun. This is what like, because my head's in my laptop the whole night, or like I'm blanked out just drinking or looking at the crowd. But when I'm really watching what people are doing, I'm like, oh, like this is so weird. Like this is like a social experiment.
It is. No, it is.
So imagine having to film that weirdness.
That's why I started bringing this guy around.
Because
some of the stuff we would experience, and I would see it. I'm like, there is no way that the same people are doing the same thing every weekend, and then they're like side characters in our lives. Like it's almost weird. I don't know how to explain it.
But it's literally like an out of body. Like it's to watch and have like you have to get the footage and
you have to
be camera.
The behind the scenes is the best part
of someone like shaking ass in front of you. It's the weirdest thing because I'm like I have to get this
way
footage.
Weirder than us.
And I'm the guy with the camera. And if it's not a busy night, and there's been nights where I filmed before. Where I'm just, especially at the beginning of the night, I'm like, I am so screwed. Yeah, so I'm just the awkward guy with the camera, filming you, pretending that like I'm not just standing there. So it's a weird thing, even when I'm not working, because like I'm so used to like being a VIP host. I go inside for the night, and then I'm constantly just weaving my way through, and I'm like watching people have fun. It's always like an out of body experience. Like I find when
you want to know what's funny. Before I was a DJ, like I've done a lot of things, bro, because I love the game. I love the game. When we used to do our events pre-COVID, and we used to do events at Kinky Lounge. Rest in peace, Kinky Lounge.
What was Kinky Lounge?
That sounds
interesting. Right.
You're like, damn! I wish that was bad.
It's beside Fairfax.
What the heck?
It's not Kinky Lounge anymore, but at the time it was beside Fairfax where the patio is.
Okay.
So we throw day parties there. It was called Heatwave. It was pretty fucking fire. I was the videographer for it.
No way.
I don't know how to fucking edit. I've never opened an editing software, but
No
my boys would
way.
edit. I would film the events, and like I'm sure I have shit archived in my phone somewhere, but I would film the event, so I understand what you mean. Like it's just awkward because you're basically just pointing a camera at people and just saying monkey dance the whole night. You know, like
And most of the time you're trying not to tell them that you're like, hey, I'm gonna do this discreetly,
bro. And how do you film? I'm actually, this is a question, not to like veer away from our guests, but you can, I'm sure you relate to this as well. As a videographer, let's say you're filming something and they're not doing what in your head you want them to do. What is the reaction? Like, what do you like? Or you just kind of move the camera?
You just turn the camera away. Yeah. But what's more awkward is let's say a shorty's dancing. She's going crazy. She's having a great night. You're filming her. You kind of, there's like a sense of like, I'm being a creep right now.
Yes.
Bro.
I'm being a creep right now. And I don't like this.
Like when the girls are dancing on the bar at Room and I see, and there's like, I want to take a DJ video, but I don't because I don't want to like look weird. And then there's literally guys, by the way, all the guys that do this, stop doing this. There's guys that will like take pictures of the, like, not videographers, actual humans. So I can only imagine just the utter feeling.
Content is weird, man. Content is a weird space. Like,
is.
even the shit that you do, like, I couldn't do that.
Yo, I feel a little bit uncomfortable doing it.
If I had to do it, yes, I would do it. But fuck, like, bro.
You want to do a little day in the life?
Bro, a fucking vlog, bro. I watch your vlogs and they're fucking hilarious, but I could.
Shut up, this.
I couldn't. Yeah, bro. Shout out Vincenzo Films, bro. I couldn't fucking like set up a vlog like it'd be natural. It just had have to randomly happen. You know what I mean? Like, I'll tell you some shit that I have planned after, but like, I couldn't be like, oh, apartment 200 tonight. You know, I'm with my guy Spinny. I can't do that.
No way,
bro.
you can't, bro. It just,
I feel like you could.
It feels so weird. You can, bro.
It does.
Well,
feel
how do you
weird.
think I felt when he approached me? and He's like, "Yo, I want to come film you at your set in Montreal." I was like, and then you do it, and you're like, "Bro,
I could be a guest in yours." Bro, I always tell my I'd be a great podcast guest.
We have the Amashi.
I would love to be a podcast guest, but I can never be the main person. I just don't have enough to say. I don't have enough to say.
That's such a lie because we've been talking for like 35 minutes and we've had a lot to talk about.
Well, I'm a good guest, but like, I could not do this every episode.
So you're saying you couldn't ask the questions, but you can answer them?
I could ask the questions, but I think I'd be like a great third mic.
Okay.
Yeah, like I'd be like, I don't know if you guys watch Joe Budden podcast,
Yeah,
but I'd be a great Parks.
Okay.
Or like, you know, there's off like pan to me
where the camera fades to you like once every time.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like I'd be great just chilling. I'm just enjoying it, honestly. I don't know if I could be the host or the fucking co-host. Give me the third mic. I'll be fine with that.
It's a humble attitude to have. You know what?
We talked a lot about Playhouse DJing. Being a producer, what is that? Some of your focus? Do you try to focus more on the DJing? Because I know you more as just from what I say visually, or just I associate with you as a DJ.
Yeah.
Talk to me a little bit more about the producer side of NyckyGhost. Because I feel like lots of people. I know that you made music.
Yeah.
Train Stations, one of my favorite songs.
That's
Train Stations, Jersey.
This guy loves
Ottawa.
Ottawa. He's the biggest Ottawa rap fan. I'll say it every episode, man.
Bro.
But tell me about producer Nicky, and is that something you want to focus on more that you don't really? Because I feel like we just talked about, we don't know it as much.
I think I have to say I want to focus on it more because if I don't, Jay will like find me and like lock me.
Shout out Chinnis, man.
Jay Chinnis.
Yeah, but it's definitely a hard balance because like, you're on the go all the time DJing, and that the biggest part of like, and that's the thing. If you want to become a DJ right now, you got to start taking care of yourself because being a DJ, like, self maintenance is the hardest thing. I don't
sleep. I need to fix that.
So your sleep, your eating schedule, just your fucking mental health. Sometimes like, as soon as the music's off in the club and you're walking, like something, you're like, yo, 4 a.m. Why am I doing this, bro? Why am I doing this to myself every fucking single day? And like, I got my girl questioning me or my boys questioning me, like, why are you doing this to yourself? But it's
the game, like you said.
I fucking love the game, man. I love it. I love it.
Stop eating.
I love it. But yeah, like the production, it's just hard to manage both of them. But the biggest thing that I've been trying to work on this year is time management and like scheduling and organization and whatnot. So like having a calendar is very important. You know, and
is that something you only started doing this year?
Yeah, like I used to use my notepads and like reminders.
Oh, really?
Like, yeah, but now I have like I told you, I have a Google Calendar for work. I have a Google Calendar for personal. and I have because I have like 16 fucking emails as a DJ, so I have so many calendars, and I keep track of all of them in one. Or I have different views for different ones of them, different filters or whatever it's called. But yeah, definitely scheduling is helps me stay intact, and it's not hard when you get like harassment and flagrant texts from the artist that you're working with telling that if you don't get your beat, he's gonna put pause to you. But Jay Chinas, but yeah, it's honestly it's a struggle, but like everything else in life, like I asked for this. You know, these are good problems to have. I asked to live this life.
It's a good thing.
And so there's always someone doing worse than you. You know what I mean? So I try not to dwell on the bad.
That's a good quote. I like that.
Yeah,
Makes me feel better about myself.
You know what I mean?
Right?
And honestly, when I think of that instantly, like almost instantly, I feel better about myself because like there's probably someone doing much worse than me right now, and I'm out here complaining about too
and
much
possibly
work.
way higher up in the game than you.
Never
That's
complain
what
about
it
too
is.
much. I've came to realize that
Bro.
you can't.
Yeah, man. I asked to be booked this much. I say yes to these bookings.
Yeah, you didn't say no. You know what
I
I mean?
asked to do music with Jay or to do music with whoever. You know what I mean? So like it's very important to me to just remind myself that I could be jobless, I could be moneyless, I could be homeless, I could be girlless, I could, you know what I mean? All these things. Yeah.
There's a lot worse. You know,
I could be Vinny. You know. Like, I'm joking.
just because I don't have hope.
I'm joking.
Damn, bro.
Bro, I don't ever shoot at you, so I have to.
Yeah, you know that's fair. You know it's fine. It's fine.
Bro, I'd probably treat you the nicest out of any Ottawa DJ.
Shout out. You know, I'm gonna say one thing. There's only like maybe I'd say 3 DJs that I'm actually like friends with and hang out outside of like DJing, and this guy's one of them. He put me on. I'm not gonna say he put me on because he hates when I say that, but he put me on certain events. I wouldn't be spinning at certain venues and stuff if it wasn't this guy. So
Bro,
shout out to Nicky.
Everybody eats, man. Everybody eats.
That's his mom. That's another. Yo, this guy's had like 3 quotes. 3 quotes today. Everybody eats. The good. What was the good one? Anyway.
Should've play it back, man.
Yo, run it back.
I feel like I meant to ask this earlier. I wanted to ask it.
Yeah.
Best questions.
I feel like I found you, like there's, I'm not going to talk about it, but there's an instant where you were literally to your like, it was more of like, you guys are young, like you guys are just being stupid of like, I don't want to say beef, but there's an incident where you're like, no, I'm too mature for that. I feel like you do have, I want to say that unk.
I think I fall like, if we're going officially by
Like
the
older.
chart, I fall in the big bro category.
Big bro, yes.
Big
Yeah,
bro.
So that's
Yo, don't.
I like that. I feel, so that goes to my main part is, I feel like you do put a lot of people on. Is that something that just comes naturally to you? Because I feel like Nicky is big brother to a lot of DJs and just
Yeah, it's
people
a
in the
better word
city.
than
Like
that.
you're overall a big,
I mean,
inspiring person that like is willing to help and put others above yourself.
it's good to be good, you know, like a big
Another quote.
I can't. Yo, this guy.
Put these on a t-shirt.
A big thing that like my one of my big bros always tells me is that do for others what you want done for yourself, you know. And like when I started DJing, there's not many
There's 5.
there's not many DJs that are willing to give a helping hand to you.
Yeah.
But like the few
Very
that
true.
were, like shout out Mez, even Fusion when I hit him up about like my first board, and like T-Dot's one of like my biggest supporters, and he's phenomenal. You know, like people like that are willing to even give you the time of the day to help you out with your skill. Like
When
I
they
just
don't
want
need to, right?
when they don't need to, like
Yeah,
they
for
could,
sure.
you know, like there's so many DJs.
Even when I was bothering you, bro, you know what I mean? Like,
There's so many. You would never bother me.
Well-
Like let's keep it like to be bothered. That's pretty negative.
okay, I know it's a broad word, of course.
But yeah, like I just want to help people like how they help me. There's no reason for me to tear down another DJ. They're not taking money out of my pocket. Like there could be 100 more DJs tomorrow, and no money is going to be taken out of my pocket because I know my skill and I know my ability and I know my drive, and I'm never not going to get booked because I know I will. If I don't get booked, I will book myself and I will figure out how to throw my own event, and I will figure out how to like open my own thing. Like I'll always be good. I'm not worried about me because
hard worker. You know?
God got me and my people have me. You know what I mean? So I just want to help people that are trying to make the same come up. Could it bite me in the ass? Yeah, but at the end of the day, I charge that shit to the game, take it to the chin. It's not personal, and then I move forward with it. You know?
That's humble. Good way to look at it.
Yeah.
Nick, for us, just as I look at NyckyGhost, I'm like, that's a cool guy. Like
Yeah,
you do,
he's a
bro.
fly
You can
guy,
eat,
you know?
you can eat a peanut butter and jam sandwich. I'd be like, yo, that's
I've never
fucking-
had peanut butter in my life.
Are you allergic to peanuts?
No, but like I grew up in the era where everyone was.
Okay. Damn.
So we were not allowed peanuts. I had I started eating cashews last year, and I love cashews. I've never had peanuts.
Should we try a peanut butter sandwich right now?
Nah, bro, I don't want to. Peanut butter is so weird.
We're gonna kill NyckyGhost on the pod.
I think peanut butter is. I eat jam like regularly. Strawberry jam, like apricot. Like I don't fuck with peanut butter. I don't like the taste. Damn. I don't like the smell. I've never had coffee before. I don't like coffee. I don't like the smell of it. Like
I think you're just a nonchalant guy, you know.
Bro,
chill guy.
I'm just me, man. Like it is what it is. Like,
I do have one question. My second last question. Yeah. Can they see the cut?
Nah, bro.
Come on.
I haven't showed it. They'll see it when it's grown out. They'll see when I get my.
So is no one gonna see what we saw in New Year, like the New Year's Eve haircut?
Nah, bro. Especially not now. If I take off my hair's not brushed. Like it's gonna look wild. Fuck no. The only good person that gets to see it is my barber.
Okay.
Shout out Jean Fresh.
Shout out
Jean Fresh, bro. Best barber in the city.
To go back on kind of the crazy lifestyle, the lifestyle that you guys live, I feel like especially going into even just this kind of just video industry, just doing this type of podcast thing, like the other night we finished at 2:30. I got in bed with my girl, she's like...
We were supposed to finish, I think, 11 p.m.? We had 4 guests, and we finished, and we ended up filming at Sarah's apartment, and we ended up leaving at 1... Sarah,
I got you.
Oh my God, man.
She will kill us both.
You know what's crazy is... In the podcast, I did the same thing. It's going to take a long time.
She will kill us both. I hope you know that. So clean that up.
Yeah, so thank you to Sarah.
We're going to bleep that out. No, Dad,
yeah, put a bleep.
No, on God, you're actually bleeping that out.
Rara, we love you.
Yeah, you're the GOAT.
We love you.
And
she shouted you out too on.
No, she didn't, man. Rara don't fuck with me. That's inside joke. She knows.
I can't lie. As like chill as he is, this guy's Hollywood, man. I can't even lie.
Holy fuck, no. Oh my gosh. You and Rara are the only people that ever call me Hollywood, but
the thing is because it's so not true that when we say it actually has like insanely comedic substance to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
For a question for both of you, what I was gonna ask is the lifestyle that we live.
Yeah.
How is that to someone that doesn't live it? Because I feel like we do. I want to say the rock star lifestyle, but we do, especially just working looking at hindsight. We live crazy lifestyle because I work my 9 to 5 too, and then I also have my separate life on the weekends, and also through Down to the Wire and other stuff like that. What would be like the advice or just kind of outlook to life of things to expect if it's like, hey, I want to be a DJ. It's like,
to expect?
Hey,
I got you.
You don't know this side of it, like, hey, you're gonna be ending at 3, ending at 4. Sometimes you don't get your money. I've seen DJs wait till 2:30, 3, 4 a.m. just to be like, I need to get paid.
Yeah.
Like, what's that kind of look like to someone who's watching, wants to get in DJ, and they're like, hey, this is the lifestyle that even just the stuff of pressure, drugs, alcohol, because I feel like...
I'm curious if you agree with... I'm going to say 2 things. I'm curious if you agree with them. So one thing for sure is there are, like, sometimes where DJs are waiting. Definitely, I'm not trying to sound like an older DJ, but there's times where DJs are waiting a little bit too long to get their money, whether it's cash out, invoice issues, e-trans, or whatever. I think most of the time it should be paid the night of, unless it's an event. And the second thing is that you can't expect anything to be like given to you if you don't push for it. And a lot of people that are young these days, it sounds hypocritical, but a lot of younger people, they try to just do and go without pushing and like working hard. That's my take.
I mean, agree? I just think it just comes with open communication. Like, for instance, we'll use hide and seek as an example. I know that when the lights turn on, I have a certain amount of songs that I can play until I get told to shut my shit off nicely. I try to push it a bit, but girls need to do their cash out. Co-check needs to do their cash out. Money needs to be counted. I am not priority. Everybody wants to go home.
Oh no, I'm talking about like, I'm saying waiting past like 3 a.m.
I've been at hide and seek till 4, but I'm not. I wouldn't get angry about it because I understand everybody wants to go home, and there's shit that needs to be done before I receive my money, because when you're dealing with that much like cash, shit needs to be audited properly. So bottle girls get paid, right? So
there's lots of moving parts and only so many people above that can be in so many places.
The only reason why I'm curious about it is because other places will pay me like before I'm done.
Well, bro, I've waited at rabbit hole till 3 o'clock as well.
That's because I'm talking to you though, and I stall. I could have paid you at 2:30.
Yeah, sure.
I'm gonna keep it a buck. I'm gonna say it on camera too. I'll keep it a buck. I just we have.
He just wanted more time with you.
Fair, but
Pause,
that's the thing is that
you're a cool guy.
like night of. I'm the type to wait however long, and I rather it like that. But when it comes to invoices and whatnot, when invoices take past the agreed time, that's when it doesn't make sense to me because. Like, for instance, when I do my event, I always tell the DJ, hey, either I cash you out right away with the cash that we made from the door, or it's Eventbrite will probably drop on Wednesday. You'll get your money before Friday. You know? And there's times where, I'm to my word, so there's times where I've paid DJs out of my pocket and I've waited for the Eventbrite if they really need it. Like, as a DJ, I understand we all have bills to pay. We have lives to live, and, like, this is a service at the end of the day, so money is essential, but I wish it was more understood. Like, you don't pay your barber a week later after you get a cut, or you don't pay the electrician 2 weeks later.
That's the only point I'm trying to make.
But it just comes with communication. Like, there's an event that I remember when you started DJing, you were talking to me about. There's this party that someone booked you to do, but there wasn't a discussed price.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
You remember what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
and
I remember
like
exactly
I told you, I was like, yo. Especially when you don't want to do it and you're just doing it for like the love of the game or a favor or for
funny enough you brought that
for just DJing. You know, I always listen to you when you talk. Just I hope you know. But like situations like that, like there's a bunch of events that I don't want to do, but I do it because I asked for this job. 2, I love the game, so I'm gonna do it, and I'm about my bread. But there's a bunch of times where you just gotta communicate. Hey, this is what I charge. I can either get it before, I can either get it after, or if you need me to invoice you kind of put it in the ball in their court for them to tell you what you want. So when it comes to money, I either say, hey, I'll take cash at the end of the night, preferably, for specific reasons that I won't say because I don't know who's going to watch it after. But if you want to get the invoice, I will invoice you. Which I'd rather not get the e-transfer, but if you need a copy for your documents, I'll get a copy for mine as well. And I'll e-transfer you. And then if they say, yeah, invoice you, I'll say, perfect, I'll invoice you and I'll date you 3 business days after. Okay. You know what I mean? Obviously, there's times where you spin at the club and you get paid 2 months later, but it's all just comes from communication. You just got to be firm and like, there's a way of being respectful. It's business at the end of the day. You're a business. Yeah.
Okay. What's your thoughts on like
nightlife? It's essentially like just being in a nightlife.
Yeah, nightlife and handouts.
The pressure, even like the pressure of. I want to know a little bit too of like the stuff that you don't see of the pressure of. Hey, alcohol, shot. Stay till 4 a.m.
Oh my god,
I want to know a little bit about that.
Beautiful.
Oh, bro, like I've learned to just say no. Like if I don't want to drink,
you just say no, man.
I will just say no, and it's kind of one of those where I'm like, yo, I'm just not drinking right now, but. You're not going to survive as a DJ, as a bartender, as a host, as a bottle girl, as a whatever, if you don't have a support system outside of the game.
It's true. Because
not all your life, like, I love you guys, and I love the industry, and I love PC, Temmie, and all that, but not all my life is in clubbing or in DJing. Like, I have my friends that don't even go to the club and all that. I have my girl, you know what I mean? If I didn't have those people, I would be nowhere because they are the people that remind you that, hey, you have a life. You know what I mean? Like, you have other things that you have on your plate. It's not just DJ. It's not just club. Like, you have responsibilities. And like Dan said, like, we all have 9 to 5s. At least, like, we try. Well, Spinny's lucky.
We're seeing his
Spinny has no rent. Home. But
the plan, I'm telling you right now, if you're watching this podcast 3 years from now, we're both going to be not in Ottawa. So.
Spinny has no rent to pay. The plan worked. But the thing what's beautiful about it is that like DJing is my passion, but like my real passion is community building, and I work at community centers, you know, and I work with kids.
I didn't even know that until actually 2 months ago.
Yeah, and I work with kids, and it's very fulfilling. So as long as you're doing stuff fulfilling outside of what you deem a job, or it makes everything better.
I feel like I'm living more than one life.
Yeah.
Because I live...
Separating work from personal is huge. I just started doing that this year.
No one at my 9 to 5 knows I'm a DJ. And, like, the people that do know, I, like, keep that shit on the wraps because I don't like mixing my pots. Like,
it's true. Yeah. One big thing the last question I have for you is, do you think that... I mean, you kind of just touched on... I was going to ask about mixing personal work. Like, you already touched on that. Do you think that if a DJ is at the club and... they're drinking like you know, and they're drinking a lot, do you think it's evident in the music and the people that are just as drunk can tell? Because I've been out, and I can't lie, what like sober or a little bit lit, I've been able to tell when a DJ is drinking versus when they're just locked in.
I can tell when you're drinking.
I can too. Yeah.
I can tell when you're drinking, you like hard cut, talk on the mic, hard cut. Everything's a hard cut.
Yeah.
I think I'm
It's
great
true. We're
when
gonna
I'm
cut that out though.
Bro, everybody has their fucking flaws. Like, I think I'm great when I'm drunk, mainly because like
You backspin a lot, but it's good. It sounds good.
I backspin a lot, but in my transitions, like
sounds fire.
I don't filter enough when I'm drunk. You're all right, but it's just because I like the sound of the backspin. Like
No, it's fire.
if I could make that my fucking ringtone, it'd be my fucking ringtone. But I do think you got to keep it professional. I don't start the night drinking ever. When I'm drinking, it's while I'm spinning.
Yeah.
And like I've always told you, like I don't start the night off with like shots on this,
Never.
shots that. Let me go out for a smoke or anything like that. Like everything is while I'm spinning and while I'm already in there and I've gone touches when I'm like, okay, this is what I'm doing for the night. I'll take a break. I'll take a shot. I'll spin. I'll take a shot.
Spin, go up down a little bit.
Yeah, you know, like when I drink. When I'm spinning, I don't even feel that I'm drunk. Like, there's been so many times where
I've had that feeling once.
There's so many times where I'm sober
Yes.
until I sit down and I'm like, oh shit, like
You don't realize till you stop DJing.
yeah,
Yeah.
Well, that's what it is. It's adrenaline and focus, and like DJing is it's a lot of mental work, and like it's exhausting because like so much blood's flowing to your brain because your brain's working constantly. Like what I tell people, it's like playing chess but being 10 moves ahead of where you're supposed to be, right? So when you're doing that drunk and you don't realize you're drunk, like you're dehydrated, you're losing,
Not drinking water.
You know what I mean? Like
Could be smoking, you know what I mean?
nah, we don't smoke, bro. Drug free.
Yeah, facts. Allegedly.
But yeah, thank you for coming on. Today's put you on. What else other than Playhouse? Go check it out.
Yeah.
I highly recommend. Always
The
good
next one in
vibe.
Ottawa, we said?
Next Playhouse, March 15th, apartment 200 Montreal.
Yes, sir.
Following
Shout out
that,
the guys in
May
Montreal.
9th, special Playhouse at Hide and Seek. We got a bunch of face card events coming out. That's another
Valentine's
thing.
Day.
Face card set. Go watch on YouTube. Best DJs in Ottawa are on it. Spinny set is I.
That shit did numbers, though.
That shit did numbers. But yeah, like I just want to be. I want to be a community builder more. So if you see my name on a venue, it's just expect good vibes, not just from me, but from everyone participating in the event. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, one thing I'll say about Nicky before we end is he books talent. He's booking good DJs and it's solid, you know? Not just Spinny.
Yeah.
I'm not just saying me, like everyone, you know?
No, yeah, I get it. There's like, man, this city is filled with fucking talent, and I'm not one of those that believe the city's boring. I just believe that you probably have a boring friend group, and that's usually how it is.
That is being turned into a reel for sure. Thank you, everyone. This is Off the Decks. Spinny, Vincenzo Vision, NyckyGhost.
Yep.
Peace.